Just a second. You mean the link that you just sent?
Yes.
Yeah, I have to click it in another window. Just a second.
That's fine. Normally it goes well. Sometimes people have questions, and that's why I put it in here. But it's no problem. You can do it later on as well. So that was really fast. the 1 hour flew by. So thank you for being back. Now we're going to be shorter together. The task is that I would like to introduce you to this fligby. Oops. And to make it entertaining for you. So the journey which we will go for is located in California. Now, luckily, traveling becomes possible. I myself have been actually in Kazakhstan in July, and then in the second part of July, I was on Hvar in Croatia, which was great, and in Dubrovnik. But we will now go together. You will go together to California. So, what are you expecting of a journey to California? What is going to be the most interesting industries you would want to benefit from if we go to California? Which industries?
Movie industry.
Yes. So you will be going into the movie industry by experiencing a movie-based story. Exactly. What else?
Wine.
It is wine industry, and also technology, high-tech internet. So it's going to run from the cloud. I hope that your company doesn't block it. It seems not to be the case since 4 of you have already registered. So that went well, apparently. And I just want to bring in that you will get basically a combination of these 3 industries. And in this story, you will become the general manager of a company which is historic. It's a family business. It's established and it's known, and it has the name of Two Rule Winery. And you're going to be the interim manager, taking charge of the wine company for a season. So there is an owner, and he calls you. He tells you, please come in and be the general manager. The predecessor, called James, he left. So let's speak a little bit about the context. I mentioned to you that it's a wine company. In terms of size, it is not a global operation. It's not one of those huge French conglomerates or Spanish conglomerates which have wineries across the region or across the globe even. And it is a family historic company, which happens to be, because of Csíkszentmihalyi, Hungarian story, but that's not relevant. They only have very interesting, funny types of wine, which are sweet dessert wine, made also in the region of Tokaj. So that's just for the flavor of the story. And in this story, you will take over a company which in a financial shape is okay. There will be an indicator on the management information system, the board, which shows you the profitability of the company. It's not a finance simulation. However, when you take a decision, it will always have a positive, indifferent, or negative impact on how much the company could make in the future months and year. 1 or 2 years is the horizon of your decisions. So if you make a decision which costs a lot of money, you spend it on the people, of course the profitability will go down. But if you invest into decisions and technology, which is good for financial reasons, it costs, or maybe on the long run it brings more. So then you need to find a balance on the financial aspects. However, more important is that there is a team spirit. We call it corporate atmosphere, and this is the morale, and that's really bad. So the people working under your management, they don't like each other anymore. They're frustrated. Some of them are over-agitated. Some of them are bored. So overall, the mood is bad. And this is because the previous general manager has suddenly left. and there is a confusion on what the strategy should be, and you have to change this strategy for the company. Now, what is the most difficult aspect in managing the wine company? Why is it more difficult to manage a wine company than in a refinery?
You are depending on weather and
exactly
illnesses or diseases.
Yes, yes.
Then probably also tastes of the consumers and trends.
Daria, you bring in great aspects. So to think about the complexities and the challenge, you might think you have nothing to do with a wine company. You manage more difficult business, oil, but we think actually it's the other way around. This industry, there is no hedging. You can little predict the weather in a year's time, how the harvest will be. And you already indicated that there are also strategic decisions on how the marketing should be. What are the customer segments they're going to go for? So like in any wine company, you will have to think about, are we going to sell more wine, volume business, or are we going to go into the premium segment and sell fewer wine, but we try to explain to our customers that this wine is so special that they should be actually willing to pay more for that. And this is the discussion we will be having day after tomorrow. What is the best business strategy for it? So in terms of weather operations, there will be management issues, and there's a complexity. There will be real challenges on to promote the product on wine tasting in the evening, or should we go for supermarkets? And all of these stories are included in the story somehow. But what is the most difficult aspect to manage a wine company? It's the same industry everywhere, other than the workforce. So that's correct. So you will have 7 management team members, and there is this tension. And the idea is that you will understand their emotions, you will discover what skills they have and how to put them into flow. So the weather comes and goes, but bad weather can happen between employees also, as Adriana would probably suffer a lot if they signpost people are all pulling in a different direction and they don't like this. And you have to be, Adriana, this post which you were showing that they're hanging on you. At the moment they're floating around, the previous general manager left a mess, he left away, and you have to build up from the basics your reputation and to bring together, let's call it the team, but also their emotions and the financial aspects. So it is designed for you to get a feeling around this flow radar, around this emotional map, but you cannot just make everybody happy. You cannot burn the money. You have to look after the profitability, to think around the strategy. And it is one type of company which in some respects might be similar to your organization because people have arguments. So when we'll meet together day after tomorrow, please be very personal and say, I have exactly this type of employee and this difficulty I have. Or we don't have this type of characters, but we should hire this type of people because this is the type of energy or personality which we might need in the portfolio of staff. So these people you were going to manage, they have names and they have positions. And I'm going to go now switch the screen to fligby. And I'm going to go into the demonstrate mode and I'm going to show you the first scene together. Please let me know if there is no sound. And we will look at each character individually. So when you're in episode 1, you basically start the story, and there are 23 little episodes or scenes, and there is a plot to it. So you see here at the bottom that there are, actually, how can I pull this? There are 23 little buttons, and they go one after the other. You can restart the story with functionalities, but please don't do that. Take the responsibility of your decisions. You have received a detailed description and you're responsible leaders. So don't play with the possibility of restarting the story, but it is available if things go really bad but it doesn't go bad normally with a briefing session. And the first two scenes we estimate take between 30 to 40 minutes, but maybe it takes only 20 minutes because you're fast listener and fast decision maker. So here is your interface. You can see that here are the characters. Don't look at too much of the characters yet because that will be the quiz, but it is always there and they move around like on a radar, like on an aeroplane radar. And the point is that you should navigate them through your decisions here into the flow zone. You can also see that the corporate atmosphere is 15.6% at the moment. Is really lousy. You can click on the bulbs, the light bulbs. They give explanation on what they mean. Then the profitability is indifferent at the moment. Maybe it will go up through your decisions, or maybe you make things even worse. The sustainability aspect, which some of you have mentioned, I think it was you, Daria, right? Is also an aspect which we observe, and a good leader is taking responsibility in relation to environment and community and long-term family values. So that's also one of the aspects to optimize for. During the story, when you make good interviews and people like you, they say, yeah, today we were a great boss, then you will get a flow trophy. So you will collect during the story as many flow trophies as possible. Improve the sustainability, improve the profitability, improve the corporate atmosphere, and make everybody into flow. Wow, quite a lot to do. Here on the right-hand side, you have functionalities. The first one is you can go into the media library. You can read in English about psychology, winemaking, and about management. And some executive MBAs, they really like the reading materials. Again, others, they say for them it was pretty basic. Again, others, they say, oh, the wine stories were super interesting, especially the Americans. They have no clue about wine glasses. And there is a section describing, what kind of glass you need for a wine, but also about the types of harvest and things like that. You can then explore the location of the wine company. You can go to the web page of the wine company, and then you can restart and you can do other settings. If you get stuck, please send me an email. I will do my best to help you. There's a helpline, help@fligby.com, and they check the emails regularly. They get a notification and they try to help you out if some technical error happens. I asked you to complete the game ideally by tomorrow evening, 8 o'clock or 6 o'clock if possible. I will see this from the system because I need to do some analytics for our Friday session together. Now you can maximize the screen, and now I start the story. The first scene, Mr. Fligby will appear. He is a game master. He helps you going through the scenes. He's sometimes giving you business advice. We call him a virtual coach, but also sometimes he's a troublemaker. He appears when he wants to appear, or he gives you bad advice, you think, but maybe it's actually good advice. So he's between the game story and between your reality. Let's see him now. Okay, so here is a fictitious, this is the organizational chart to help you orient yourself in it. Because when I played first, I got confused on who's there. So it's actually quite nice to know the internal hierarchy. So let's gamify this and turn it into a quiz. Which of the positions do you know already we can fill based on the story which you have heard? Because everything which you said could be actually important to understand the full reality which is simulated here. So what is it that you already know? Which names?
The assistant.
Okay, which assistant is which letter?
Jen, let's see.
Well, you have very sharp mind, Daria. So yes, she is here. She's doing she's managing your office, so to say. And in this small company, there's not much finance. Basically, it's accounts, and she's in charge of that. So we will see Jane. Yes. Which other name do we know? Or it's not important about the names. Which personage?
The PR manager.
Yes, you're very precise. Where are you? Who's B?
I would say me.
Exactly,
Or, yeah,
right? So just
us.
for your orientation, that's the point. B is you. You are there on the top. So you are leaders, you are general managers, but believe me, MBA students and master students, they don't want to assume this mentally that they are in charge. They always want to feel somewhere between H and I, you know, this is how they perceive themselves. So who's A then? It's the owner. The owner, Bob to rule, and here you can see clearly that he's sort of be around the organization and not in the organization, but that will cause some difficulties because very often he will feel that he's actually B, but you are supposed to be B, so he's supposed to be A. And now we go into the other characters. So first I will show you Jen. As it was, we'll repeat it because the voice is very important, the tone, exactly. So interrupt me with a sign like this that you don't hear.
Sometimes I feel like the expression, not happy, Jen. There were a lot of extra tasks dumped on me when James, our ex-GM, left. When after that, Wendy, Sue, and Bob left too. I'm not a good person for accounts, but I do it because somebody has to. Bob often says proudly when he introduces me to guests that I took on the back office and all this extra stuff, but I say I didn't take it on, it was dumped on me. I feel overwhelmed sometimes and unappreciated, but don't get me wrong, I'm happy to get you coffee occasionally.
Did the voice go over now, Zoran?
Yeah, we could
Okay.
hear.
So what is the mental state of this character? We told this actor to play what mental state? What would you think? I'll give you some support. I'm going to show you the chart. So what do you think?
Anxiety.
Anxiety, arousal, somewhere there.
Luckily, they're always in one segment on the map. We told this actor to play somebody in anxiety. How could you discover it, Zoran? Because you were the first to say.
So it's better to be quiet.
Yes.
Based on the sound of the voice, based on everything that she said.
Yeah, but this is going to be the case with all of them. They're all going to say something with a voice. So here comes this nuance. Breathing difficulty. Breathing very difficultly. The first moment she plays with her hair, it's a feeling of total confusion, overwhelmed. She's saying this. Things were dumped on me. You know, dumped means that the challenge is so high that I have no skills to manage it. And this is full reality. It's not just in between, like worry that maybe I will not be able. I'm simply not able to do it. But the sentence she says at the end, for example, but I'm happy to bring you coffee, shows that she's not in apathy. Because somebody in apathy has no initiative whatsoever. And that would be one of that. Okay, so Jen, we have seen on the map is on point C. I'm going to show you now another character. And for the fun's sake, Adriana, I will ask you to tell me what is her mental state. Rebecca.
Introductions have never really captured my imagination. I find them stilted, awkward, and false. I don't even know what I'm doing here. James should have taken me along with him to Top Dog Winery. Anyway, it would be better for us to sit down and have a proper meeting. I look forward to discussing my sales strategy with you. Will this afternoon be good?
What do you think?
I think that she's a control.
She was very decisive.
Yes, and she wants to have meeting, to have decision.
What do others think and why, if not control? Ivana?
I would agree that this is control. She is pretty self-confident and she's looking for new challenges.
You know, she says, I should not be in this company anymore, and I don't like to introduce myself. Somebody who's in control when a new boss comes would say, let me briefly introduce myself, and I'm looking forward to find out what's going to happen with you under my control and under your control. She's actually, we think, in
Arousal.
arousal. It is too much then flow. She's over dynamic. She's setting an agenda, but it is off the point at this point to say immediately, let's meet here and there. And so she needs to be reduced in the stress and the challenges of having to do things. And she needs to develop certain type of skills, communication skills, interpersonal skills, managing more diplomatically the situation, because she's overshooting. So the skills which are not high enough for the new challenge, and that's why she's in arousal, would, for example, be for her to be a little bit more diplomatic. Okay, you don't feel very comfortable as a new boss with such an energy bomb setting the agenda and telling you all the reasons why she should have left with the previous guy already. So this is a little bit how the story is supposed to work. And then on the map, where would you locate her? Adriana.
Maybe G.
Okay, we will see, because at the moment we don't know what the other characters are, but the answer is correct. She's on the level of G. She's certainly a director. She's in charge of sales, right? It could be D, it could be E, F, and G. Very good point. Now we take the lady who's in charge for the tasting room. So during the day, they have a restaurant and they have a room where people come and they buy the wine in the wine shop. She's called Ellen.
We are so glad that you accepted the position. I'm going to do all I can to support you. You call on me anytime you need to. As you know, I am the tasting room and hospitality manager, and I've been at the winery longer than any other employee. More than 25 years. In fact, I'm godmother to Bob's grandchildren. Oh, this is still a wonderful place to work. It's such a pity that James paved over the soccer field and put our beautifully renovated tasting room and hospitality center off limits for employee usage or community events. I think people are the most important part of any organization. They are the ones that make or break a place like this. I could go on, but I'm sure you must be overwhelmed by information as it is. I look forward to working with you. And remember, call on me at any time.
Okay. Christiane, I see your eyes moving, your brows. So what do you think? What is her mental state?
Yeah, she's difficult.
Why?
It seems she's, I don't know, happy to work for the winery. She's the longest personnel there. But somehow I don't feel quite, she's really sincere during the introduction. So I would say worry.
Yes, could be worry. But the way she
could
speaks,
be control.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Or relaxation, I would rather say, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Well, we thought that she's an arousal. She's full of energy. She's bursting out, and she speaks of the employees that they should be able to use the tasting room for their friends and families for free. She says the most important agenda is to use the soccer field again. She can help you with knowing anybody. She can tell lots of family stories, and if you have need, you can also help, ask her. So in flow, you really focus on a single situation, single activity, and because of this multitude of things she's mentioning, we would say that this is not flow. She seems high energy, but it is not really control, because under control you would be doing more calmly at 100% of your abilities what you need to do. But she's not in flow because at the beginning of the story, we would not start the story with flow. That's the aim of the game. But also in flow, you would have somebody more focused on one or two activities. But it is surprising to me also this time to hear that it could be actually worry, and she's overreacting and she's bringing in many things. But this overreacting is actually happening in the mental state of anxiety. So people tend to speak a lot about problems and why this is not problem and what they should be done, because they're actually anxious inside that this is not going to work. In worry, they ask more questions. In worry, they say, as I told you, I'm curious whether we will be able to work together. I want to find out from you what you think about the role of employees. So in the mental state of worry, it is not sure that the problem will become reality or not. You just think that there's a tendency. In worry, the challenge is not so extreme. So then you would not maybe talk only, you would ask questions. But good point. In the terms of the organizational chart, she is point H. She works under Rebecca because they both do this during the day, the sales. One is doing the directorship, and Ellen is her subordinate, although she's been around for long years. So the answer to previous question, Adriana, is on the organizational chart, they are related like D and H, okay? Now comes the next guy in the story. He is the chief winemaker. He's in charge for the quality. He's tasting the wine and he decides when the harvest should be done, which wine should go in what type of barrels, and when the wine fermentation should be stopped.
How do you do? I guess I should say welcome, but I'm not sure that would sound sincere enough. I wouldn't change places with you for anything, and that's something coming from me. You know, I've been here for more than 20 years. Do you know what you've gotten yourself into? There are some major issues regarding our product line that I insist you deal with immediately. Are you up to this job?
Oof. I'll show him again, because he's so brief and full of...
How do you do? I guess I should say welcome, but I'm not sure that would sound sincere enough. I wouldn't change places with you for anything, and that's something coming from me. You know, I've been here for more than 20 years. Do you know what you've gotten yourself into? There are some major issues regarding our product line that I insist you deal with immediately. Are you up to this job?
Ivana, he's full of what?
Negative energy.
Yes, poison. Yes, he's like a black hole for you. Why did you come to this horrible place to work? Are you really ready for this at all? Do you have the skills? So which mental state could that be?
Arousal.
Others? Who would say, you know, this place cannot be saved anymore. It doesn't make sense that you come, you don't have any skills. Nobody would be so fool to work in this company. It's apathy. He given up on anything. So probably he's been here for 20 years and he's trapped. You know, he can't go anywhere because this is his expertise and his name is associated with this wine company. So if you think about the context, he could be in an anxiety what will happen next, but the way he already speaks, he has given up on anything. It can't become worse than that anymore. And you can't actually get him out of this zone. So he's going to be very difficult to be handled. But you still have to stimulate him somehow, discover what his skills are, so that when he knows what he's good at, you give him the opportunity that he uses his skills to show in a challenge that this is what he's good at. Okay, the next person is the production manager. He's called Chris Strickland. He's in charge of doing the processes. Once it's been decided that the harvest should start today, he organizes the workers. He knows the process flows and he knows the packaging and basically, so he's not the quality controller, but I guess you know this from your organization pretty well. So he's the man in the wine company who's working downstairs constantly in the cellar and with the workers. Let's see him.
Welcome. Perhaps we can organize a talk once you get settled. I have a very important issue which needs top management attention ASAP. Mr. Turrell thinks we are implementing a sustainability approach. I wouldn't go so far as saying implementing. I do the best with what I've been given, but that's next to nothing. Bob doesn't really know the situation, mainly because James was good at hiding the facts from him. Anyway, I have to get back to work now. I have people waiting for me. I hope you can excuse me.
Adriana, what do you think? Should I show him again?
Yes, please.
Okay, what is his mental state? Chris.
Welcome. Perhaps we can organize a talk once you get settled. I have a very important issue which needs top management attention ASAP. Mr. Turrell thinks we are implementing a sustainability approach. I wouldn't go so far as saying implementing. I do the best with what I've been given, but that's next to nothing. Bob doesn't really know the situation, mainly because James was good at hiding the facts from him. Anyway, I have to get back to work now. I have people waiting for me. I hope you can excuse me.
So what do you get from the story? What is he saying? What is his issue? What are going on around his life?
He's very important. He's thinking on job. All of people are waiting for him. So maybe he can be control. He wants to know everything what is happening.
Yes, he is very much a control person. He's very responsible normally, but the mental state at the moment is not that he's feeling in control.
Worry.
He's in worry, exactly, Daria, super. Because why? What did you pick up from the movie scene? Why did you say worry?
Because he's concentrating on the issues, on the problems. He thinks something is wrong.
Yes.
And obviously it needs to be dealt with immediately, ASAP.
By him, exactly. So he says that there are sustainability issues going on, but they were diverted, and these people above him, they have no clue what the reality is. So his control is actually not in the control anymore. So he's worrying about things, and many people are still waiting for him. So he worries that there will be even more trouble occurring if he cannot be with them. But he is actually not in anxiety. He manages the processes and he knows what he needs to do. He just doesn't want to go all the way along, because some of these ideas which have been prepared by James, the predecessor, and Bob, he thinks that they are unrooted and not founded well. Okay, so I'm not going to show him yet on the map because I'm going to show you a few more characters. I'm going to show you Larry Turrell. He is the grandson of the owner, Bob, and he's at a trainee sort of function. So he's learning all sorts of things in the company.
Welcome. I hope you stick it out with us. This place makes the best wines on earth. Do you know our wines? I feel really lucky to be here. I love Turrell Winery, which is just as well, I guess, since I'm the owner's grandson. I have lots of ideas, and I'd be keen to share them with you. My grandfather says he's confident he made the right choice in choosing you, and I'm glad, because the old man sure made a mistake with your predecessor, James Sadler. But hey, that's in the past now. So, welcome and all the best. I look forward to getting to know you better.
Okay, Christian, what are your impressions on this guy?
Arousal or anxiety, something in between. Maybe arousal.
Yes. Why do you think more arousal than anxiety?
He seems very energized, but also scared, let's say.
Yeah, but he asked you, do you know his wine? It's his wine, so to say. He's the owner's grandson, and he will take over. So he doesn't need to be really anxious so much from existential perspective. So that's why you're right.
Arousal, yeah.
He's an arousal.
Yeah.
And the body language, I'll show him again. He's actually very overconfident.
You're right.
Right? Look at his eyes. I think he played pretty well. So he's an arousal again.
Welcome. I hope you stick it out with us. This place makes the best wines on earth.
Yeah.
Do you know our wines? I feel really lucky to be here. I love Tyrrell Winery, which is just as well, I guess, since I'm the owner's grandson. I have lots of ideas, and I'd be keen to share them with you. My grandfather says he's confident he made the right choice in choosing you, and I'm glad, because the old man sure made a mistake with your predecessor, James Saddle. But hey, that's in the past now. So, welcome and all the best. I look forward to getting to know you better.
Okay.
Yeah.
So since he is a trainee and he has to learn many things, where on the organizational chart is he probably located?
A.
Yes, I. A is Bob, the owner, so he's between two people, and the two people who are actually helping him to do the work, you will discover and see, is E and F. It is actually the chief winemaker, Alex, who was in apathy, and Chris, the more stronger one, who is the production manager. So he helps out them, both of them, and he discovers the process realities. So now we only have G left, and G is the character called Joe. He's also related to the family, but he's not direct line, so he's just a nephew. Let's see how Joe comes across. Ivana, I'm going to ask you in the next round, what do you think about him?
Hi, I'm Joe Salieri. As you know, I'm the PR and events manager. You know, I practically grew up at the winery. A lot of people think I know a lot about this business, and the fact that I have an MBA just reinforces this thought, but that's not what's important in my opinion, you know. Creating a successful product needs happy people and good marketing, and unfortunately, we don't really have either. This has become an unfriendly workplace in many ways, thanks to James, and Rebecca needs to rethink her marketing strategy. It's easy to say this, I know, but it's in fact very hard to do and can quickly be screwed up if you're not careful. Anyway, this place is very important to many people, including me. You have a big responsibility. Good luck, you'll need it. I'm happy to make myself available to you as long as it's not too early in the morning. Let's have dinner or go out for a drink sometime.
Okay. Oof. Joe.
Yeah, I would say that there is no happiness in his voice, that he is pretty sad.
Yes.
A lot of worry, maybe. Maybe I would put him in worry category.
What is he worried about?
He is worried about future of the company, I would say.
Yes. He has ideas. He studied on an MBA. He has many ideas. He knows the company well, and he thinks it's really a shame that it goes in a bad direction. So why is he saying that he wants to have a meeting only with you in the evening? He wants to avoid you?
No, but this is maybe in line with his character.
Yes. So you will see that all of these characters play interestingly well a certain type of personal psychological character. And there is also functional reality, especially for Joe. You will discover what he's doing. He's in charge in the evening for events. So people come like you guys, hopefully sometimes with company events, and they taste the wine and they have great food, and they go home late in the night. So that's partly his reality. Do others also think that he's an anxiety, or other alternatives? Zoran, what did you think of this guy?
I don't know. I think
I play again, okay?
Okay.
What they say is actually quite interesting and information already for you to discover their skills and the challenges they're lacking.
Hi, I'm Joe Salieri. As you know, I'm the PR and events manager. You know, I practically grew up at the winery. A lot of people think I know a lot about this business, and the fact that I have an MBA just reinforces this thought, but that's not what's important in my opinion, you know. Creating a successful product needs happy people and good marketing, and Unfortunately, we don't really have either. This has become an unfriendly workplace in many ways, thanks to James, and Rebecca needs to rethink her marketing strategy. It's easy to say this, I know, but it's in fact very hard to do and can quickly be screwed up if you're not careful. Anyway, this place is very important to many people, including me. You have a big responsibility. Good luck, you'll need it. I'm happy to make myself available to you as long as it's not too early in the morning. Let's have dinner or go out for a drink sometime.
Zoran?
I don't know, I would put him to apathy or boredom.
Boredom.
Yeah.
He has initiatives.
Yeah.
He makes an offer to you to go out to meet. So somebody in anxiety wouldn't make this attempt.
He doesn't care.
He tells a lot about his experience, his professional learning. He knows the company, and he thinks it's really a shame that my skills are not being used here because I could help you. But so I do my work in boredom. So you have seen that he is in that mental state, and this is how the organizational chart then looks. There is Bob Turul, the owner. Then you will be here centrally positioned. There is Jen Goodwin, the office manager, Joe Salieri, whom we just saw, the young Turul who got married, they're waiting the child, Chris Strickland, the vineyard manager for growing the weight, responsible for the processes, Alex for the quality, Rebecca is the sales, and Ellen, she's been around so long and she does the tasting room and also hospitality. So when I go out of the story, start.
Hi, I'm Joe Salieri. As you know, I'm the PR and...
Hey, from now on, if I have feedback to give you...
So later on, when you made interviews with the people, you can click on the characters and information will appear like in a personal file based on the interviews you have made on what you have discovered. So if you want to find out more about the person, you click on Joe, and at the moment, this is all we know, that he's age 40 and he's the PR and events manager. But in scene 4 and 5, you will make interviews with these guys. And based on the questions you ask them, the information material will be available here again. And here you can see that where they are. So Joe is, we think, in boredom. I clicked on the boredom and this moves around. And after each scene, you can see the impact of your decisions. Now also notice here down there, there is the first scene of 1st of March, 18 hours. That's the virtual time story. And sometimes the scenes happen half an hour later, 1 hour later, like there's an interruption of a meeting after the break. And sometimes you jump a few weeks. So the whole simulated story, which you will play, takes for you 5 hours. But in the virtual story, the story begins in March and finishes in the end of October. So for your orientation, you can see down there the timeline and also the progress within the game scenes. Okay, so this what I wanted to mention. I did now with the lines. So all in all, what is your task? It can be brilliantly simple and you can over-sophisticate it as you go along. The first level is you make the right decisions. But you know, what is the right decision? You need to discover. The next level is you should people into the flow, make their work meaningful under your guidance, that they enjoy the work, that they bring in extra efforts, that they say, yeah, you are a great job, you're a great leader, you make me actually contribute to my own life and to my team and the organization and to society to the best of my abilities. And the third level of how to play the game is to win this composite indicator, which we call the Spirit of the Wine Award. And it is a pretty difficult task to achieve. And there will be many different measures which are putting together also the Spirit of the Wine Award. So at the basic level, the movie starts and there will be 2 choices, sometimes 3 choices, limited, frustrating, but all of you have the same one. And you will be able to learn from the story. And during the decisions you take, we observe, the system observes your decisions. It drives the story. and also the decisions will be reflected in your leadership skills. I'm going to speak about the leadership skills a little bit much more next day after tomorrow on Friday. I don't want to disturb you with that now. You should focus now on being a good leader, exercise the flow, the body language. And when we will be together on Friday, I will ask you, how was the game? What is the best strategy for this company? Who are the protagonists of the different strategies? What is the flow of each of the characters? Which interview questions made sense or made not sense? And then we'll start to speak of the skills, how to interpret the leadership skills, which the system is measuring, and how you will replay the story for the second time. And then on Sunday, I will send out you also the individual reports. So, do you have any questions?
So if we get stuck in the game, we call you, or
yes, you can call me. I will put here in the chat again also my SMS, my phone number. It should be on the end of the email. I rather send an email again, or put it here in the shared slides. I shared the slides, right? You have access to the slides in the chat. And I will put there my.
Sorry, I couldn't access the Google.
Okay.
The Google Drive.
Oh, you cannot access the Google Drive again.
No, I don't know. Did anybody try this? Any of you guys?
What, Gabe?
No.
No, the Google Drive. You see this in the chat. There's a link.
Yes.
So I tried to register.
It is the same document link which I shared in my first introduction email to you. Fine, I will send to all of you an email this in PDF as well.
Yeah, maybe it's better because I tried to log in.
There is no possibility for me either.
I mean, I tried to log in with my personal Gmail account, but I
will handle this. Don't worry, I will put my number in it. That you should not have a problem. You can contact me. Also, I give you my phone number on WhatsApp or on email, but there should be no problem. The point is to finish the game hopefully until tomorrow 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock if you're busy. I really hope that you enjoy this new way of playing, managing. Christian, you in particular, you mentioned that you're curious. So that is the digital part, but the curiosity should be on how can we actually bring in thoughts about how to lead people in a discussion, and this is what we did pretty well. And also the Google Docs, what is it called? The Google Form, which is the learning blog. I hope you can access it from your INA system. Maybe it is blocked. Then I recommend that you do it from at home, from your own private laptops, if you have such. So for example, the first question in the blog after the session now is, after scene number 1, who is your favorite character? Whom did you like most from the introductions? Maybe we can do this already in words. Christian, who was the personage which you felt, oh, this guy actually is sympathetic to me, and who maybe you said very bizarre, if you can recall some of them? I will show you the picture of them, so maybe that helps. Do you have an idea already?
I think the grandson, the owner.
Larry?
Yeah, Larry.
What about him? You like him most or least?
Actually, I find him most easy to deal with.
Good.
So
yes.
That's why I definitely.
Yes, good. So
and the most difficult character.
Mm-hmm.
I think this chief winemaker. He made quite an impression, negative one.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's going to be quite difficult to handle. So the easiest and the heaviest characters. Somehow.
Okay, this is exactly what I would ask you, and maybe during the story you will discover that there are other more characters which turn out to be more difficult than Alex, yeah. Or maybe it turns out that Larry isn't that promising after all, and so on. Yeah. What about you, Zoran? Which character you can relate to easiest at the moment, maybe? And least?
You mean easiest to be deal with?
Whom did you like?
I will tell you who I like the most. Probably this guy, this Weiner manager, Chris Strickland.
Yes, no surprise to me. Yes.
Yeah, because he's doing the job and everything starts from him.
Yes.
And all others, I don't like them at all.
Yes. Okay, when you go through the introductions again, you will think who is the worst for all of these for you.
Yeah, nobody is good. Everybody should be fired.
Adriana, for you? She's busy now. Okay, then
I
I
think
ask.
she's in a conversation.
Yes, Daria?
Okay.
I think Jen is the easiest to deal with. The others, I have some, positive opinions, but also negative. So we'll see. It's not always the first impression. Probably
Yes.
Ellen is going to be the hardest to deal with.
Yeah. So Daria, you get the point. That's why I have in the blog this stages. I asked you first after the first introductions who you like most, whom you like least, and then I ask you a few questions after scene 10 when you're halfway through the story, like what are the issues which you find the most difficult, and I ask you again at the end of the story because there is quite a lot of decisions, 150 decisions you take, and maybe some issues become more important to you later on because they come later in the story. And at the very end, I also asked, so at the end of the game, which character you actually appreciated most? Whom did you learn most from? Whom would you want to have in your team? Good. And Christian, I asked already. Ivana? You're muted. You're muted.
Sorry.
Okay.
I'm a bit worried how to motivate Chris, which is in worry stage. So I'm not sure how to deal with him and how to handle him.
Okay. And whom you think you are easiest to motivate and to bring into flow from these people?
Maybe Jen. She has a lot of tasks, but I think that it might be easy to work with her.
Good. I'm looking forward to see your face on Friday, how it went. Great. And Adriana, you're back. So the question is, which character you think you might like most, or whom did you like most on this brief introduction?
I don't know. I can decide. Maybe Rebecca.
Mm-hmm.
And here will be some improvement, but with who I don't like to have some works activities with Joey.
Yes. Okay. Why? Because he wants to meet you in the evening only?
And he likes to go to drink sometimes, and he wants to sleep in the morning. So.
Yes, good. So you see, all of you already have different relationships to the same characters we all saw. So it already starts to bring in personal preferences and dispreferences, and you have to manage all of them because the system is the same story for all of you. So we will speak about this on Friday again. Okay, so this is it for the moment. As promised, I will create now a PDF version and maybe attach as a PowerPoint presentation the slides for you. And see you then on Friday at 9 o'clock. I'm going to send out again on Friday the link in email to the Teams connection. And the Friday, I planned a little bit longer until 12:30. So 3.5 hours altogether. Okay? Thank you very much. See you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.